rushed for more than 6,000 yards and 55 touchdowns over his tenure in the NFL. His numbers on the field were impressive, but his numbers off the field are even more so, with more than 500 mammograms sponsored. I talked to the one and only DeAngelo Williams. Right now on the Delano Little Show.
Acre Sports presents the Delano Little Show.
Welcome to the Delano Little Show. We are here with former Carolina Panthers running back DeAngelo Williams. It is good to see. I know you played for Pittsburgh too, but come on. I mean, people care about you about the Carolina Panthers, right? That's what you...
Yeah, what's crazy is I played 9 years with Carolina and I played 2 years with Pittsburgh. And you would think that those 2 years with Pittsburgh were like insane years because of the fan base. And I get a lot of flack for it because, the Panthers, what was it, 95 when they came into existence, and it was like 39 when the Pittsburgh Steelers came. And, when you go around Charlotte, there's a lot of people that are Washington Commander fans or fans of another team. But when you go to Falcons, you go to Pittsburgh, everybody's Pittsburgh Steelers fans because of the long tradition. So as a result of it, whenever I go out anywhere, they was like, man, I like your time in Pittsburgh. I like your time in Pittsburgh. But then when the Carolina Panther fans see me, they're more like, because of the bad taste that they still have left in their mouth.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah, I got fired. I didn't quit. I got fired.
Yes. Well, we know the Steelers are that way because Donnie Shell was one of our former Hall of Famer, was one of our first guests on season 1 of the Delano Little Show, and he was fantastic. And he said the same thing about he goes everywhere. He can go home in South Carolina, and he's from there, and people won't recognize him in the grocery store. He can still go to Pittsburgh, and people still recognize him all these years later. That's the kind of deal it was. Well, we are on location at your place. So we're about, 45, let's say average 40, 45 miles outside the city of Charlotte.
Yes.
And this, you called it your farm.
Yes.
There's no animals. But it's property, it's land, and tell how many acres is this?
So it's 100 plus acres, and not only that, like I was telling before the show started, growing up in Arkansas, there's a lot of people that have certain dreams. Whether that dream is, growing up, you want to have that white picket fence, you want to have that husband or wife, and you want to have X amount of kids, and you just kind of see where your life is going. You kind of have those monumental milestones that you want to hit, whether it's owning your own house, your own car, or whatever. But as a guy or as a male growing up in the natural state of Arkansas, you always wanted to own land, leave it to your son, and just kind of continue that tradition. So when I was done playing football, I was like, man, I'd love to have a little tract of land that I can call my own. I can go and I can have that peace of mind where you're not hearing cars all the time. There's not people beating your ears up. There's not a lot of technology to where you gotta the impact of the land itself will keep you busy. And
it's peaceful out here. I can tell you that.
It's
very peaceful out here.
Yes.
And you got a lot planned for this place as well.
I
right
do.
Now it's just kind of land, but
it's kind of land. I got a lot planned for it. And what's really good about this land is that the bridges that are built out here, I did them myself with my hands, going on and looking on certain sites and stuff like that. And I can't believe, I don't know about you, Delano. I don't know how.
I can't fix anything. I don't make anything.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's amazing.
I can't either. But with the help of technology these days, I feel like you can build anything. Gotcha. If you can put a piece of IKEA furniture together, I'm probably sure you can. You put a piece.
I cannot put a piece of IKEA furniture together. I'll be honest with you.
But as a result of it, though,
I get frustrated. But anyway.
I do too. But when you're by yourself and you don't have to listen to either the wife or the kids or the news or whatever just beat you up, and you just want to get to yourself, you want to just have that peace of mind, and you just want to work from a standpoint of it ain't a lot of work, but it's work that you can do. Like the other day I was out here splitting wood, and I had a great time splitting wood. Split wood for 6 to 8 hours, to the fact where I got a call and my wife was like, hey, where are you at? And I was like, hey, I'm still splitting wood. And she was like, you can't be splitting wood that long. But it's so peaceful that you just hear the machine, you cut it off, you sit back, you relax, you hear the breeze, you see the water. It's fascinating. And there are animals out here. It's just that you're that animal.
I hear you. Well, you Wynne, Arkansas, is where you're
Yes, WYNNE.
Okay, went to high school there. And
Went to
everything.
high school there.
What was it like?
So
Were you a
it's
superstar there?
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because I came from a time where I still remember it like it was yesterday. Every pickup truck in the parking lot right before hunting season had that hunting rifle in the back window. Followed all the rules, everything to like, well, obviously now you can't have, the times have changed, but that was the type of city or the town that I lived in. Right. Everybody hunted when hunting season came up. First day of hunting season, half the school was out because, you might as well just made that a national holiday for my high school because nobody showed up on first day because it was time to go hunting. That's what we did. So that's but going to school there, man, it taught me a lot. And I like to think I was okay because there was other running backs there that were just as good as I was. And I didn't go to a school where, like I did in college, where it wasn't a rich tradition. When I went there, they were used to losing 1 or 2 games a year. Right. If you lost more than 1 or 2 games a year, your head coach was up to get fired.
Right, went to Memphis.
I went to the University of Memphis, but in high school, it was one of those where it was like a rich tradition. I loved it. It was like, oh man, I can't wait to play for this school because you weren't thinking about college because this high school right here, we was averaging 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at the game every Friday night. So this was
what was bigger? Was hunting season bigger, or was the football?
Well, it kind of rolled into one. You got Friday nights every night, but see what you had to do on hunting season is you had to go stake your claim to the best spot. Gotcha. So in order for you to say, hey, I've had this all season, you got to be there day one. So everybody's fighting for those prime locations because that's going to be your location for the rest of the season. And once you stake your claim to it. So that's why the first day is very important because it literally set the trajectory of the rest of your hunting season. Very similar to football. So playing at high school at Wynn, I think it taught me a lot because I wasn't used to losing. It taught me how to win. And not only did it teach me how to win, but it also taught me that when you deal with this win, you're going to deal with certain levels of adversity. And when you deal with those certain levels of adversity, how are you going to respond? And that's what Wynn gave me. My first year as a sophomore, as a freshman, we was 9th grade, went undefeated. I rushed for like 3,000 yards, 4,000 touchdowns. They just tossed me the ball. I just outran everybody. I just go. Man, I got to high school. I remember them letting me play in high school, bro. I was a freshman. I was like, yes, I made it. I'm the man. Man, they was tearing me left and right because, you didn't understand the game because all I wanted to do was run. That's all I wanted to do because that was my strong suit. But learning how to hit holes and things like that, and after learning how to do that, I think, the rest of it kind of speaks for itself.
I guess that's a progression, too, with college. When you got there, they were bigger and stronger than when you got to the NFL. Quickly, when did you know that you had the ability to be an NFL player?
So that's what's crazy. I never knew that I had that ability. And I think that's what kept me level-headed because every time I got to the next level, I couldn't believe I was there. Wow. I couldn't believe I was there. Like, even going to high school, I was like, man, I used to sit back and watch these guys play high school football, man, and like now I'm here, I'm under the lights, man. That's what they used to call it, Friday night lights. Thursday night games, Wednesday night games, man, you have like 200 or 300 people there. It didn't matter. Like Friday nights is where you wanted to be. Like I wasn't even on Saturday and Sunday yet. I'm trying to get to Friday. Because once I get to Friday, then that's going to set me up for Saturday. That'll put me in college. And then after I get out of college, then that's going to set me up for Sunday. That's going to put me in the National Football League. But I didn't have those expectations because high school is where I wanted to be. That was the talk of the town. Wow. Like, hey, did you know Antonio Warren? Because at the time, he was the top running back in the state. And he also played for my high school. Right. He had rushed for 150-some yards, man, and put up 3 touchdowns. And like I see him at school, I'm like, wow, man.
That's the guy, right?
That's the guy,
you wanted to be.
Like, I was like, dude, but I never knew that I could be that guy because I looked up to those guys so much. You know what I'm saying?
So I'll tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break here real quick. Okay. And then we're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the NFL days. Okay. A little bit more about what you're going to do here so everybody can kind of know about that. And then talk a little bit about your charity work that you've done, okay? We're going to be right back here on the Delano Little Show. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Delano Little Show. Here talking with former Carolina Panthers running back, Pittsburgh Steelers running back as well, DeAngelo Williams. We've known each other for quite some time now, and it's always fun to talk to you. You're always positive. I mean, every time I see you, how do you maintain that through? I'm sure you've had a lot of adversity. I know about family members that have had cancer and things of that nature. How do you stay positive?
Well, that's interesting. I just had this conversation with a family member of mine like a few days ago about like my positivity. I don't think I'm as positive as I need to be. However, I've gone through a lot. We've all gone through a lot. And I heard this expression and I didn't start living to that expression until, later on in my adulthood, but like life's too serious to be serious all the time. So I didn't understand that until like you've experienced as many losses as I've experienced, to where you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna take every single day and I'm gonna live it to like it's my best. No matter what decisions I make, I'm gonna live with them, but I'm gonna have fun making those decisions that I'm making. And I think that's been my life. Now, some of the decisions that I've made, a lot of people may have questioned them, or family members or whoever, but if it makes me happy, then hey, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, and you've been so. I will use positive as what you've done with your charity work, and obviously the loss of your mother and your aunts have had cancer. I mean, it's well documented. Yeah. But you have done a lot for cancer research.
I've done a lot for cancer research, and I like to think it's selfish reasons. And the selfish reasons is I don't want anybody to feel like I felt. So if I can stop that from happening, or curb that from happening, or suppress it or oppress it, or whatever words you want to use there to make another person feel better about their situation, then I'm all for it. That's the only reason why I do it, is because I know what that feeling feels like, and I don't want anybody to have that hopeless feeling or that feeling of like, what can I do, and not knowing what you can do. Because the only way that you can fight this is knowing how to fight it. Not like, hey, what do I do next, or kind of creeping around it. You got to know exactly what it is, and you got to stand strong with it. And because of that, and me knowing what it takes to defeat it, or wrestle with it, or tussle with it, or whatever words you want to use there, I'm all for it.
You mentioned the Carolina Panthers fans, but you were a fan favorite here. Smash and Dash, is that?
We were Jonathan Double Trouble, Smash, Jonathan, yeah.
You guys keep in touch? You guys?
We do keep in touch. We do keep in touch. He and I keep in touch. Because I spent my last 2 years in Pittsburgh, I keep in contact with them more so than the guys that I played with for a long time in Carolina, because
that's hard to believe. That's tough.
Well, the thing is that it's always. I say this: you're only as good as your last wife. So you can't divorce that old wife and keep all her friends and then meet a new one. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those things to where, it just kind of happened naturally. And then not only that, they went on to play for other teams. I went on and played for other teams, and then you develop those platonic relationships that's outside of football, not those working relationships. Because I'm sure it's people that you work with that you're friends with in the office, and then you see them outside and you just like, damn, can't believe I bumped into him.
Just about everyone here. I mean, I'm just joking, everybody. I'm just joking. These people are great. I'm telling you. No, but I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And it wasn't one of those situations, because we had a great time there, but it was kind of one of those things to where I think some of the players took on some of the persona of the fans, like, man, I can't believe that he would do something like that. And they was like, dang, well, I didn't know he did something, to like, dang, I can't believe he did it either. And then before you know it, everybody got pitchforks in their hands and tortured.
The NFL is tough, isn't it? It's a tough place. But this is a place now that you can relax.
Absolutely.
And we, as promised, we're going to come back and we're going to talk all about what you plan on doing here with your farm.
Yes.
And this is just a gorgeous piece of property, just to be honest with you. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that on the Delano Little Show. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Delano Little Show. Here with DeAngelo Williams, former Carolina Panthers running back, Pittsburgh Steelers. You never know what's going to happen when you go to commercial break and we come back. There's a lot of. I'm sorry that we're not sharing with everybody, but it's good to have you here. And we actually, it's better that you having us here because you let us come out to your property that you have had now for about a couple of months now.
Right.
And you look to do a lot of different things with this.
We are. We're doing a lot of things with it. It's mainly just getting it ready for the public, and not only just for the public, just for our enjoyment. It's a very calm place. This is my escape, and I'm glad you guys came. I know it's tough getting out of that studio with all the cameras and the hustle.
No, we love it. We actually we like it. No, this was a cool shoot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where you see it. It calms you. It takes you away from the hustle and bustle. And when you live somewhat of a fast lifestyle, you got to understand, Delano. I went from small town, 8,000, 9,000 people, to Memphis, to where I'm whoa, this is crazy, to the NFL. So my exposure level was crazy just off the rip from just that small town, and it took me a while to kind of settle in. And I'll never forget what my mom, she said, never lose yourself. And you never understand what that means until you actually sit down and think about okay, what do you mean never lose yourself? Because you can get so caught up into things and make rash decisions and irrational decisions, or rational depending on who you are, at the wrong time. But if you come out here and you give yourself time to think and you decompress, then you find other ways of solving issues that you might not have or thought about at the fly or on the fly at that moment. And that's why I'm very thankful for this property. So because of that, I want to find a way that I can give this property to everybody. Hey, let me give you that serenity that you deserve, that serenity let's get you away from that hustle and bustle of everyday life and get you out here to where you can enjoy nature. And there's a lot of places that provide that. I would say that for your mental health, just getting away, it's a great place to do it.
So you're all in?
Oh, I'm all in. I'm 100% all in, because my thing is what's the point in finding serenity if you don't want to share it? Because your serenity and you being fine and you being okay doesn't help the next person. Just like community outreaches, if you keep all that to yourself, then I think they say it best in the Spider-Man movies, with great, what is it?
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I know it, with great power
comes
much
great
responsibility.
Yes. And I think that there's a lot of power in serenity.
Yes, and you give it for your family as well. You got,
yes.
We met your lovely wife when we came out here.
Yeah.
And your youngest son, I believe, and
yes.
It's adorable. And you have 3 other children.
I do. I have 4 kids total, and they absolutely love the farm. They come out here and they'll play in the dirt all day. And not only will they play in the dirt all day, it's just it's crazy because they find really weird stuff to do. Back in the days, I don't know about you, but I don't know how you was raised, but popsicle sticks, for somebody that didn't maybe have money, they made maybe dolls or something out of popsicle sticks. You can make stuff up. Well, the kids will come out here and they'll find unusual and weird sticks and name these sticks, and I'm just dude, you got all these toys and you got all these, and you want to bring back rocks and sticks.
But that's using their imagination, and we had to use that when we were kids.
Yes.
Anything else you want to let anybody know that your plans?
Yeah, well, I plan on being here for a while, in terms of being in this serenity. So if you guys,
you look like you still lifting weights, you still like you can run some ball, right?
Nah, I look like I can drive a riding lawnmower is what I look like. I'm doing yard work different.
Or jet skis. You got jet skis that you
So back in the days when I was younger, I used to run up and down that field, but now I can ride up and down that field just as fast as the next person.
Yeah, much easier, right?
Much easier.
All right, we're going to be back with DeAngelo to talk more about his charities. We haven't delved into that enough yet, so we're going to come back and talk about that on the Delano Little Show. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Delano Little Show here with DeAngelo Williams, and we've been talking about a lot of things, but one thing we want to really hone in on is your charity work.
Yeah, so after I retired, the charity work didn't stop. It continued right throughout COVID, right into this time. We have a Delano, which is August 5th. You can still sign up if you want to. It's a 5K into a 20-mile bike ride, 34-mile bike ride, or 53-mile bike ride. The funds go right back into the community right then. We're giving simultaneously 106 mammograms at the same time as the event is going on. So we still give back. The DeAngelo Williams Foundation still work with breast cancer. I work with it more now. That's my full-time job, is to make sure that that people don't feel the way that I feel with their loved ones, that they're not alone, that we're here with them, and that we're a community all in ourselves.
DeAngelo Williams, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. We thank you, and we wish you the best of luck with all of your different ventures that you got going on and everything that you've done for the community. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And wish you the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's all the time we have for the Delano Little Show. We hope to see you next time.